And to convince this board to appoint David as the head of the Andrassy Foundation.
But Dimitri's will was very specific, as you must know. He wanted Alex to head the foundation, and failing that, to recommend her replacement.
Be that as it will, I tell you, if the foundation is going to be headquartered here, then the board is going to have something to say.
Hello, Joe. Mary. Thank you very much for meeting with me before the fact. I should explain
It's not necessary. We're well aware of your objections to Hayward.
Well, no, I haven't explained fully why I'm so opposed to his appointment.
Well, don't you think that it might be better if you express those feelings to the entire board? I have not a very good feeling about these private pre-meeting meetings.
I know it's against protocol, but it's rather personal. And I was hoping that by explaining it to the two of you, I could spare myself and the rest of the board a great deal of discomfort.
Does this have to do with something in your past with David? Assuming that you do have a past with him.
Yeah, unfortunately I do. It wasn't a happy one. And I can't forgive him for something.
A lover's tiff?
Oh, please, give me some credit. I wouldn't waste your time with something like that. No, this is serious. I hold the man responsible for the death of my best friend.
You certainly chose a very, very interesting meeting place.
They say confession's good for the soul, right?
David, I understand that there are things about you in your past that you would rather not discuss. But it's obvious that something has gone on between you and Alex. Something. And you haven't told me what it is. But whatever it is, or was, clearly it's significant.
Are you afraid of what I might share with you?
You knew her, didn't you? Before you came to Pine Valley.
Yes.
Well, that's not what you led me to believe. You said you loved me.
I do.
But you lied to me. Was it because you were afraid that the truth would upset me? Look, whatever went on between you and Alex, if you and Alex were lovers, I'm sure that that's very difficult to admit because there were feelings between you. And it's very hard for you to talk about now because the feelings are still there.
Alex, what exactly do you mean when you say he was responsible for the death of your friend?
That's an outrageous allegation.
Well, it isn't an allegation of murder. It's a statement of fact. He caused a tragedy, and he has never taken responsibility for it.
Well, clearly, you're going to have to say something more than that, Dr. Merrick.
Yes, I intend to. When I was at medical school, I shared a flat with a woman called Siobhan Ewing. We'd been friends since my early teens, I suppose.
And this, Ms. Ewing, was the person you say Dr. Hayward killed?
We were at our local pub one night, and we met this American, very arrogant and cocky.
David Hayward?
Yes. And he joined us, uninvited, and introduced himself. Well, I was turned off by him from the first. However, my friend Siobhan and he, they hit it off, and they began to see each other. And I warned her to steer clear of him, or at least to be very careful. But she didn't listen to me. She was crazy about him. She trusted him completely. But he didn't return her feelings. In fact, he was extremely cruel to her. You see, he was using her to get back at me.
To get back at you for what?
He'd made it clear that he was interested in me at first. But I turned him down because I could see what kind of a person he was.
So you're saying that he went out with your friend to annoy you? Well, that's rather extreme, and I would say it's a narcissistic interpretation.
He is totally vindictive. He systematically destroyed my friend because I would have nothing to do with him.
The only feelings Alex and I have for each other, have ever had for each other, are distrust and contempt.
It's not love gone sour?
Absolutely not. I have never, ever had any interest in Alex whatsoever.
But you did know her.
Yes. I knew her and her roommate, Siobhan. We met in London. I was there as a surgical resident trying to get a closer look at socialized medicine.
I see.
And I sure wasn't the person that I am now. I hadn't yet learned that people come into our lives for a reason.
What do you mean?
Siobhan was a student, and she was very lovely. We dated each other for a short time. It was nothing earth-shaking, till she got pregnant.
Oh. How did you handle that?
By telling her the truth, that I wasn't in love with her, that I really had no wish to have a child in my life at that time. And I told her that whatever choice she'd made, that I would support her, emotionally as well as financially. But she didn't want to help. All she wanted was me.
You make her sound obsessive.
She was unstable. Perhaps even borderline psychotic. All the indicators were there. And Alex saw that. She claimed Siobhan was her best friend, and not once did she ever warn me that she was coming unspooled. She never prepared me for the possibility that...
That what?
Siobhan overdosed. And it wasn't an accident.
Did she die?
Yes. Suicide. And Alex blames me. Erica.
Are you?
Am I what?
Are you to blame for what happened to Siobhan?
Erica, I swear to you that I am not to blame for Siobhan's death. If I am guilty of anything, it is of being too immature and too self-absorbed to see how sick she really was.
Why is Alex so furious with you?
She insists that I knew that Siobhan was suicidal, and that I gave her the key to the hospital medicine cabinet, knowing that she was going to steal the drugs for her overdose.
But you gave her the key.
No, absolutely not. Siobhan stole the key from me. Look, I may have been blind at the time, but I wasn't a complete imbecile. It would have been like handing her a loaded gun. I wasn't in love with the woman, but I certainly didn't wish her any harm. Look, and don't be fooled by Alex's quest for justice. There are far more selfish motives behind her actions.
Namely?
There are some details that you don't need to know. Anything else that I say is going to be ungentlemanly.
Oh, well, that's just too bad. I mean, you have to keep telling me now. You know very well if you don't tell me now, I'll just wonder what it is that you're hiding, which is, of course, exactly what Alex keeps implying, saying.
It's not just Siobhan's death that's driving Alex. She's angry about other things.
Enlighten me.
After Siobhan and I started seeing each other, she went away for the weekend to see her family. I misunderstood when she was coming back, and I went to her apartment. Alex was there alone, and she put the moves on me. And I admit that it wasn't my loyalty to Siobhan that stopped me from taking what she was offering.
So you said. So what was it?
I didn't trust her motives. And frankly, I was never interested in the woman.
So you turned her down?
Yes, I turned her down. And to say that she didn't receive it well is an understatement. Because from that moment on, she made it her life's mission to humiliate me. She used Siobhan's suicide to discredit me in London. And that's exactly what she's trying to do here. What? You do believe me, don't you?
He knew what a state she was in, yet still he gave her the keys to the narcotics cabinet.
Well, he can't have known that she really intended suicide.
He knew. When Siobhan told him she was pregnant, she said that she would kill herself if he refused to be part of her life.
Alex, how do you know this? Were you present? Did you witness this argument?
Well, no, a friend of his told me after the funeral. But he drove her to her death.
You know, that's a very serious charge. We're going to have a little bit of proof about that.
I am the proof. I was there. My God, if I thought it would have spared Siobhan's life, I would have slept with him.
Alex, isn't there someone who can substantiate your story?
You think I'm making this up?
Well, a doctor's reputation is at stake here.
Oh, you're concerned about how this will reflect on you.
No, I'm just as concerned about the effect of your actions will have on the reputation of this hospital.
Well, I am sorry, but I cannot have Dr. Hayward heading up the Andrassy Foundation under any circumstances. And if it were up to me, I would have him thrown off the staff of this hospital.
Well, let's all give thanks that it isn't up to you.
I'm sure that Alex has made it brutally clear that I was romantically involved with her roommate. But I had no responsibility in regards to her suicide. I had no idea that she was even entertaining the thought.
You knew. She told you.
Well, now, you've had your say, haven't you, Dr. Devane?
It's Marek.
Why don't you examine the man who David Hayward is today? What he's achieved as a professional? What his future holds, and what the future of the Andrassy Foundation could be with David at its helm?
You know, I have examined the qualifications of the other candidates, and it's true, no one stands out as more qualified.
I absolutely agree.
Well, I have no issues with his surgical qualifications. It's his lack of character and conscience that
What
troubles
happened
me.
to Alex's friend was a tragedy in any and every way. And the natural tendency is to assign blame. It's human response to circumstances that are beyond our control.
Oh, for heaven's sake. You don't have a degree in philosophy or psychology. It's not your place to speculate as to why I blame you. But I think you should answer for it.
That is what he's trying to do.
Thank you.
Alex, please.
You've conveniently forgotten some important facts, haven't you?
I don't believe I have.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't think I heard you mention the fact that the circumstances surrounding Siobhan's death cost you a fellowship. Clearly, there were other people besides myself that thought you were culpable. Or was there another reason that your grant was cancelled?
Why don't you tell Joe and Palmer exactly who was awarded the fellowship that I lost?
Well, that has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about the events that caused you to lose the grant, not what happened afterwards. And obviously, someone was going to get the fellowship.
Well, how lucky for you that you happened to be there to catch it when it fell.
Is that true?
Well, yes, but it's irrelevant.
Irrelevant? Your irrational attempts to destroy my reputation professionally has been nothing if not personal. And now I'm counting on the good sense of these men and the absolute lack of evidence to end this vendetta here and now.
Well, may I speak, Palmer, to you and David alone, please? Excuse us.
I know you tried to seduce David. You used your friend's suicide as your revenge.
Oh, is that what he told you? Thought you were smarter than that. You have no idea what lies in store for you if you don't give up this juvenile obsession with him.
Are you threatening me?
No, it's kind of like a prediction. He has you convinced that I'm dangerous, doesn't he?
Oh, he told me the truth.
Oh, did he? You know, the man you think you know doesn't exist. When you look at him, you are looking at an illusion.
I do wish you would just give
He will destroy you. He's done it before. Are you willing to be next?
as I am for your concern for my well-being. Let me assure you that I can take care of myself.
Oh, yeah, that's what Siobhan thought until she met David.
Where's Palmer?
I sent him back to his room. He needs more rest than he's been getting. He's all right. He's all right. I just don't want him overdoing it. Why don't we sit down? Now, I have never made any secret of my feelings toward Dr. Hayward, and he certainly is well aware of them. But as Chief of Staff, my focus has to be on what's good for the hospital. Now, listen very carefully to the story of your unfortunate friend from both points of view. And to be honest, I've listened with a particular care to see if there was some concrete, irrefutable reason why Dr. Hayward should not be made director of the foundation.
But I've given you plenty.
No, there's no proof that he caused the death of your friend. If there were proof, he'd be cleaning out his office right now. And as matters stand, we have only to consider his professional qualifications, which are impeccable. On other non-medical matters, such as character, something else again, but it doesn't concern us here. Dr. Hayward is an asset to this hospital. So if the Andrassy Foundation is to be situated here in the hospital, as was Dimitri's wish, I've no choice but to recommend Dr. Hayward to be the director.